Happy morning to you guys. Happy Tuesday. Today is October the 6th, 2020. So welcome to another pre-market overview. So for those that don't know, what we do in the pre-market overview is we go through a document that we send out every day, our newsletter. So the newsletter, if you don't have it and you want to get that document for yourself every day, just email us newsletter@tradewithufos.com and we will put you on that subscription list and you'll get sent it every day, Monday to Friday, before the markets open. Now, on that newsletter, we go through 4 of the major markets in the world. We discuss where we think they're going, or we show where we think they're going and how long we think they're going to go there for and where they might change direction based on probabilities and technology. It's a 2-page document, so it's a lot to cover in 2 pages, which is why we do the pre-market overview for 15-20 minutes to just expand on that concept a little bit, explain it a little bit more so that you guys can understand a bit more behind how we came to those conclusions and why we do what we do. So just to say, if you have any questions about anything I cover, you can email me, Becky@tradewithufos.com. That's me, Becky. And you can email the support team as well, or you could email the support team. So Becky@tradewithufos.com or support@tradewithufos.com. Happy to help with any questions. Now, for those of you that are joining us from already within the Tradewithuf channel, just to remind you, if you're newer to the channel and you're not familiar, today is Tuesday, so you have stocks at 9 a.m. Eastern and then investing at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, usually Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, those are going to be your options and futures days. And over the weekend, we have sharpening. One of the sessions will be a psychology session and the other session will be a methodology, questions and answers kind of session. So that's for the channel, which is part of the subscription through You Can Trade. Then there's courses. So courses are going to be knowledge from the ground up, understanding how to trade stocks, how to trade futures, how to understand trading psychology, how to build a trade plan, how to backtest. And again, using our methodology across these different concepts. So the next one that we have, or the one that's actually currently running, is the stocks class. After that, we have psychology, then futures, trading plans at the end of the month, and then backtesting in November. I'll show you in a second how you can go to learn more about those things. Just going to put the disclaimer up first. So I won't read it to you. It will take me a long time, so I will let you guys read it at your leisure. You might not be able to read it as quickly as it shows on the screen, so you can, of course, come back later, pause the video and read it. Or you can go to the website, which is youcantrade.com, and you can get additional disclosure information on there. It is important that you guys read it, not just for legal reasons or compliance reasons, but it is generally good advice to understand that there is a risk involved in trading and that, of course, that risk is yours to take. We will give you ideas and demonstrations, but ultimately it is up to you what trade you place and how much money you use when you do that. Again, you can go to the website if you want more information. So for those that might want a little bit more understanding as to how you can learn more about what we do, if you go to youcantrade.com and choose the Tradewithuf channel, you'll see that you can start a free channel trial. That's for all those sessions that we saw there on the left-hand side. You can schedule a call if you have any questions for anybody before you would register for the trial. You can then go to browse courses. So again, that's to understand what we saw there on the right-hand side, the different courses that we do. If you click it, it opens up a separate page and you can click on course details for each of them to understand more. And once again, schedule a clarification call if you have any questions about any of the courses before you register. If you click that button, you just need to type in your name and email address so that we can send you a link for that scheduled callback. Now, you will need to put in a date and time that you would like to have that callback. And again, it will be an online call where we will send you a link for you to be there at that time, and we will be there at that time as well. You can put in questions if you want to, you don't have to. As soon as you click request, there will be a pop-up to say that it's happened and that you will get a link in your email there. Just click on that and we will see you at that time and date. One more reminder, you can join us mobily if you'd like to, if you have Apple products, nothing yet for Android, but for the time being on the App Store, we have the You Can Trade app. So if you go to the App Store and search You Can Trade, you'll find us, and then you can follow us mobily if you'd like to. Okay, so now let's crack on and go through the newsletter for today. So I'm just going to pull up TradeStation as well. Let's just do that again. There we go. Okay, so we have on the right-hand side, that's our newsletter. I'm just going to move it a little bit there. I don't know what happened to that. I must have closed it. There we go. Okay, brilliant. So on the right-hand side, we see our newsletter. And on the newsletter, as I said, we go through 4 of the major markets in the world. We look at the S&P, so top US 500 stocks. We look at oil and gold, major commodities, and we look at the euro, obviously a major currency. So all of these markets are huge, lots and lots of orders move through them every single day. So even if you don't trade them directly, I'm sure they will impact other markets that you trade. You'll also notice that we use a daily chart for each of the charts that we look at. Each of the markets we look at, we're using a daily chart. Of course, different things happen on different timeframes. So if you trade vastly different timeframes, of course, things will be different. But the daily chart is one of the most commonly used timeframes, hence why we're using that one. So we'll go through a daily chart per market. Now, for each market, what we're going to look at is a number of different criteria. So the first thing is going to be climate. Climate essentially means trend. It means what's the probabilities, what's the market environment, and again, like I said, what are the probabilities? Now, with with the S&P on this example here, we have our AutoClimate app at the bottom. The AutoClimate app will be at the bottom for every single market. And what that AutoClimate app is doing is analyzing market data for us to come back and tell us what's the direction of the market and what are the probabilities. So it can show us one of three things. It can show us a thick blue dot, like in this example. That tells us we're in a confirmed upwards climate, probability to the upside. It could show us a thick red dot, confirmed downwards climate, probability to the downside. Or it could show us a thin dot of either color. The color would still tell us the direction. Blue is up, red is down. But the fact that it's thin is the AutoClimate app way of telling us that we have a lack of probabilities, less statistical advantage. We do nothing on those days. You'll notice that today, the majority of our markets here are unconfirmed climates. We show you that on the newsletter by putting a little cross next to the arrow, which tells you it's unconfirmed. So lots of indecision, lack of probabilities today. So we look at climate per market. We'll then look at propagating. Propagating tells us how long we can expect that market to continue going in a certain direction. So what we see on the right-hand side, that's how long that market would usually go in that direction for, based on number of candles. And on the left-hand side, we see where we're at now relative to that. So we see from those two numbers whether or not we have probability that the market continues to go in that direction based on what usually happens, or whether or not we've maybe come to the end of that and we would be more likely to see a change in market direction. So again, it just gives us an idea of how long we can expect to keep going in certain market directions for. What we also want to look at is nearest UFOs. So UFO stands for unfilled order. It means where we expect there to be buy orders in a market that can push it up, or sell orders in a market that can push it down. And we highlight them on a chart using the Auto UFO app that highlights for us buy orders as green UFOs, and if it's sell orders, it's a red UFO. Now, I've noticed that actually the UFO information on the S&P for today is actually inaccurate. That's my fault. So we actually have a no buy UFO and no sell UFO. So I'll show you what's on the charts for that today. This would have actually been valid yesterday, so I didn't update that. That's my bad. So we'll go through each of these concepts per market: climate, propagating, and nearest UFOs. What we'll also understand is volatility. So volatility is how far can we expect these markets to move up or down within given periods of time. So we look at current implied volatility. This number is an annualized number, so what we can expect up or down in 1 year. Now, these numbers are percentages, so they refer to the percentage of its current value. So what can we expect up or down in 1 year in terms of movement as a percentage of the current value? From that, we can reverse engineer it and understand what we expect up or down in 1 day, in 1 week, and in 1 month. So again, getting an understanding of how far we would expect price to go within these given periods of time, up or down. The climate and the propagating will give us an idea of in which direction we're likely to see that move happen. And when it comes to nearest UFOs, as well as if we're at the end of the propagating, where we might be more likely to see price turn. If price hits buy orders, it normally will turn and go up. If price hits sell orders, it normally will turn and go down. So again, we're using technology here to analyze market data for us to tell us the probabilities of where price is likely to go, make it easier for us to make decisions. So we'll go through each of these numbers per market. So we'll start with the S&P. Now, the S&P has a thick blue dot. That is a confirmed upwards climate, probability to the upside. Usually, the S&P would go up for 11 candles, and we're on candle number 5, meaning we have probability that the markets continue upwards for at least another 6 days. Again, that's not to say it will always fall within that exact number. That's an average of what normally happens. It's probable, but not definite. So we do have likelihood that the market will continue up, at least for a little while. So probabilities with the climate plus probabilities it continues. When it comes to buy orders and sell orders, we have this new stack of buy orders here at 33.48.42 to 33.23.69. Now, in the creation of those buy orders, they actually wiped out the sell orders. So we have no sell orders in the S&P right now. That means we have room to the upside. We don't have sell orders that are in the way of a move to the upside. So again, with the S&P right now, overall probability to the upside, confirmed upwards climate, probability that it continues based on what usually happens. Buy orders beneath us, no sell orders above us. Again, lots of buying signals all coming together there. Now, just because something is probable does not mean it's definite. Of course, we live in a world that unexpected things happen. So we do need to manage our risk just in case. We also may look at other factors before we place trades. But overall, at the moment, probabilities to the upside there with the S&P. Now, when it comes to volatility on the S&P, we would expect a movement up or down in 1 year of 28.45%. In 1 day, that would be a movement up or down of 0.61 points. In a week, it would be 1.34 points up or down. And in a month, 2.80 points up or down. Okay, so that's the S&P. Let's look at the next market, which will be oil. At CL, that's the continuous futures contract for oil. Let me just move price a bit here so we can see that a bit better. Just expand it a bit. There we go. Okay, so you will now see this for the rest of the markets. We see a thin blue dot on our auto climate. So that tells us that we have an upwards climate, but it's unconfirmed. So lack of probabilities, lack of statistical advantage. We don't want to do anything if we don't have probabilities on our side. First thing we're going to look at is the auto climate. If the auto climate comes back and tells us lack of probabilities, we do nothing. We move on to another opportunity. Now, when it comes to the climate, usually oil would go up for 7 candles and we're on candle number 1. So if this were to confirm itself over the next day or so, then we do have probabilities of a continuous move there to the upside. When it comes to stacks of orders, we have buy orders down here, 2 nestled on top of each other. Top one is 26.56 to 26.05. Then we have a stack of sell orders that we're closer to. That is 42.86 to 44.03. Again, overall, no probabilities on oil. We don't have buy or sell orders close enough to really push it one way or the other probably today. We also have an unconfirmed climate, so we do nothing. In terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 49.44%, which means a movement up or down in a day of 1.24 points, in a week 2.72 points, and in a month up or down of 5.67 points. So that's oil. Let's look at the next market, which is gold. At GC, continuous futures contract once again there for gold. Okay, so once again, thin blue dot, unconfirmed upwards climate, no probabilities, nothing to be done. If it does confirm itself, then usually the market would go up, or this market, gold, would go up for 7 candles. By the way, all of these numbers on the right-hand side, I'm rounding them up, you might have noticed. So ignore whatever the decimal place says, I'm rounding it up. So normally goes up for 7 candles. We are on candle number 3. So there is probability that it continues to move to the upside if we confirm the climate. At the moment, we don't have a confirmed climate. We have lack of probabilities. So again, we keep away. In terms of buy and sell orders, we have buy orders here, 1876.9 to 1851. And sell orders a little way above us there at 2039.7 to 2060.8. Now, when it comes to volatility there for oil, for gold, we expect movement up or down in 1 year of 22.13%, which means in a day, up or down of 26.8 points, in a week, up or down of 58.9 points, and in a month, up or down of 122.6 points. Okay, so that's gold. Let's look at the next market, which is Euro US dollar. This is the last one we're looking at. This is the spot Forex currency pair. Now, I do need to load a bit more data here for us to see our sell orders. Let's just wait for that to load. Okay, here we go. So the sell orders are a little bit older in this one, but I'm just showing you on the chart where they are. So once again, on the climate, we have a thin blue dot, unconfirmed upwards climate, lack of probabilities, keep away. If it was to confirm itself, normally the euro US dollar would go up for 5 candles and we're on candle number 1. So probabilities that we do continue to the upside, providing the market confirms itself. Again, at the moment, not confirmed, lack of probabilities. In terms of orders, we have buy orders down here, 1.1597 to 1.1507. They're already working. Price came in, hit this stack of buy orders at this point and is going up from there. That's what we expect buy orders to do, is push price up. Sell orders, we expect them to push price down, but the closest stack of sell orders is 1.2344 to 1.2414, just rounding out where it needs to be for the pip. So again, with the euro US dollar, same as the oil and gold as well, lack of probabilities when it comes to climate, which means that no action really should be taken. If they do confirm their climates, then all of them have probability to continue in that direction. And in this one with the euro dollar, we also have more buy orders beneath us and sell orders are quite a way away there. So again, if it confirms itself, then we would expect a decent continuation. But at the moment, unconfirmed, keep away. Now, when it comes to volatility on the euro, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 7.96%, which is 59 pips up or down in a day, 130 pips up or down in a week, or 271 pips up or down in 1 month. So again, the volatility figures tell us what we expect up or down within these given periods of time. The climate and the propagating give us an idea of in which direction we're likely to see that happen and for how long. And the nearest UFOs will tell us where we are likely to see price change direction. If it hits buy orders, where am I? If it hits buy orders, then we expect it to do this and push price up. If it hits sell orders, then we expect it to hit the sell orders and come back down. Okay, so that's everything on the charts today. I'm going to go into the newsletter here and expand it a little bit as we come down and look at news. Now, we don't necessarily make decisions on what we do in our trading off the back of the news. The news is one reason as to why price goes up and down, not the reason. The most direct force we have that can move price up or down are buy orders and sell orders. Buying and selling, that's what moves price. So that's why we're using the technology to objectively find where those buy and sell orders are. It tells us the probabilities of where price is likely to move. But of course, there can be other reasons, or there can be many reasons as to why there are buy and sell orders. And the news is a big one to be aware of. It can often introduce volatility. Now, yesterday we saw a number better than expected. We also saw the market go up. Of course, sometimes we can see a number that's better than expected and the market goes down for some weird reason. So again, the most important thing is to focus on the orders. But we do need to be aware of the news that's coming up so that we can manage our risk accordingly. So we go to fxstreet.com/economic calendar. We filter high impact news and US markets. So again, you can look at, whatever countries you want to look at, whatever impact news you want to look at, and check that for yourself and change the filters if you want to. For us, obviously, today, looking at high impact news on the US markets, today is Tuesday, October 6th. So we have a Fed speech coming out at 2:40 Eastern time. So watch out for that, be aware of that before it comes out, manage your risk as you need to. Okay, so that's everything for me in terms of explaining the newsletter. Just a couple more reminders. If you would like to join us on the channel and join the futures, options, stocks, investing, psychology and methodology sessions as all part of that subscription, you can join us at tradewithufos.com/you-can-trade. Now, of course, you might just want to try us out first. So, of course, you have the free 14-day access. So you can try us out for 2 weeks, see if you like us and go from there. If you don't, just cancel the subscription. If you do, then you've had a good couple of weeks to really know that it suits you. In terms of upcoming live courses, the next one we have is psychology. That starts this weekend coming. So often overlooked, but absolutely crucial when it comes to being able to trade. You can have the best methodology in the world, but if you don't manage your psychology, you are extremely unlikely to actually enact what you need to enact in order to get the best out of your methodology. So crucial that we focus on that. So if you go to tradewithufos.com/psychology live, you can learn more about it. It's a 2-for-1 offer at the moment. So register for any course, get an additional one for free. So have a look at what we do and how you can put that offer together in such a way where you make the most of that deal. If you have any questions, email us support@tradewithufos.com. Otherwise, if you're joining us from within Tradewithufoss, we will see you later on today in the stocks and investing sessions. And if not, I will be back tomorrow morning. So I will see you tomorrow morning. Hope the markets treat you well today. Hope you have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.